Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to be talking about N54s, whether or not they are reliable and whether or not you should buy one. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright guys, so I currently own a 335 with an N54. This is kind of like my personal opinion on what you should do if you want to buy one of these and if you want to know if they are reliable. So first things first, honestly, I know N54 gets a really bad rap for being unreliable, quote unquote, but in reality, they're honestly not that unreliable. It's just the things around it that's unreliable. Pretty much what I mean by that is that the N54 itself is most of the time not going to be the problem that is with the whole car, if that makes sense. So the things that tend to go out on these injectors tend to go bad, water pump tends to go bad, the power steering pulley gets loose, and then the serpentine belt snaps. You can pull your serpentine belt into your engine on accident and destroy your engine. So it's things like that that's the real culprit of the N54, why it's considered unreliable. Alright guys, so when it comes to buying a 335, normally I don't really look at miles. I only look if it's been maintained. So the maintenance is really the big thing for these cars. Like I said, so big things that go out are water pump, fuel injectors, spark plugs, ignition coils, high pressure fuel pump goes bad, FP goes bad, vacuum lines tend to go bad, turbos can go bad, wastegate rattle, around 120,000 miles is pretty common. I think that's pretty much everything. I really can't think of anything else off the top of my head. If you buy a 335 or an N54 with at least half or if not more than half of that stuff done, realistically you should be having a solid car. So I would honestly look at if those have been done on the car. That is the biggest thing to look for. I would say if turbos have been done, that's probably the most expensive. Also, oil pan gasket goes out. So does oil filter housing gasket and valve cover gasket. Those go bad. If you get one that has had the turbos replaced and oil pan gasket replaced and maybe water pump, those are the kind of the biggest things to deal with. So I would say get those done. Injectors can be kind of pricey, especially index 12s nowadays cost over $1,500 for a set, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. I probably wouldn't ever spend that, but you can always find some for a good deal used. I would look at maintenance over miles. That is the biggest thing when it comes to these N54s. In general, I would probably not recommend it to a first-time BMW owner. I would honestly recommend getting a 328 first, maybe an E90 328. Get your foot in the door. Get started with a car that does not have turbos and will not have those issues. 328s are way more reliable compared to the 335s. So like I said, if you are a first-time BMW owner, I would stick to 328 first and then work your way up once you kind of know what you're dealing with BMWs. I'm not saying this to scare you, I'm just saying it to prepare you so that you don't jump into a 335 with an N54 right off the bat. I've seen people who have done it and they had to dump tons and tons of money because they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. With that being said, there are tons of mods that you can do to these cars. You can make these cars really fun, or if you keep it stock, it's still a quick little car. It's twin turbo at the end of the day, pushing around 300 horsepower. You're gonna have a lot of fun. The transmissions always hold up. The automatic transmissions rarely go bad unless you're really pushing them. The manual transmission is also very solid. You're not gonna go wrong with an auto or a manual. The manuals do tend to cost a lot more though, so keep that in mind as well. I would say with today's market, around July 2022, that if you can get one around $8,000 to $9,000 with around 120, 150 even, it's a solid deal as long as the maintenance has been done, because if maintenance has not been done, you're gonna end up spending more money on the car regardless. So miles don't really matter, it's mostly maintenance that matters. Now obviously if you are tuning the car to a super crazy horsepower number, like stage 2 plus, maybe pushing like 600 horsepower, even single turbo 700 horsepower, I mean, don't expect any reliability. Like, it's gonna be really unreliable. You might even blow your engine in that point. They can handle the power, but after a while, obviously the engine's gonna give. Like, you really gotta build the engine up if you wanna handle something crazy like that. But with like a simple stage 1, stage 2, pushing around 400, I mean, you're really not gonna have too many problems. You might have some cooling problems because the more power you push, the hotter the car gets. And obviously if you have old coolant hoses, an older water pump and all that stuff, it's gonna go through it really quick and they're gonna break. So just be prepared for that if you're planning on tuning the car. In general, what I recommend I would recommend the N54. They do have a lot of torque. They are very fun to drive. but be prepared for the maintenance costs. Not that cheap to keep it maintained. So like I said, if you're gonna buy one, try to find one that's been maintained properly, and you're just gonna have a more enjoyable time. Just spend the money up front. I've learned my lesson buying these cheap BMWs. Like, it's fun, you get them for really cheap, but then like every week there's a problem, a new problem that rises up. And to be honest, I'm just kind of sick and tired of it. So I've learned my lesson. I'm telling you now, if you're in the market, spend a little bit extra, get a maintained one, and you're gonna have a much better time. But yeah, guys, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I'll make it a quick little short video. All in all, I would recommend an N54 only if you're prepared. So go ahead, check me out on Instagram, guys. I'm posting on there daily, so definitely go check that out. If you guys could go ahead and like and subscribe, that would really help my channel out, help me to make more videos for you guys. Enough talking, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Remember, stay safe, stay happy, and stay in that project car. I will catch you guys later.
Back on deck on my fly, really on my pay some respect to my mindset. Head blowing smoke, catch a contact.